Hello and welcome. It's another KREM 2 weather impact alert, which is always fun. So let's go ahead and dive in. Things are interesting. We have already seen about an inch of snow here in Spokane, and with a little more on the way for tomorrow morning's commute, more likely going to have big impacts, hence the weather impact alert. But with temperatures hovering right around freezing for most of the day tomorrow, it is likely those impacts last through a good chunk of the day. So those weather impact alerts remain in place. I was just checking the latest update on the daily climate report. Nothing new. Supposed to come in right around 9 p.m. It is right around 9 p.m. right now. We are splitting hairs on 8:59 and 9. Temperatures currently sit right around 30 degrees. We're catching a break in the action, but as you can see downtown, even the streets themselves are covered in snow, all those sidewalks as well. It's cold. Temperatures have been down near or below freezing for a couple of days now, and that played a big role as all that snow comes in, which brings me to an interesting graphic. I call it the 3 T's of snowfall. I don't know if this is something that's just me or if this is a real thing. I actually have no idea. I know I used to have a coworker who would talk about it all the time, and that was years ago, and I don't know if it ever ventured on beyond there. But let's talk it. 3 T's of snowfall in order of importance: temperatures, timing, and totals. In the order of significance, first of all, if your snow comes down and you're at or above freezing, it's not going to stick to roads, especially with cars driving around. If you get snow heavy enough, it eventually will. But let's talk the next T, timing. If you have enough snow coming down and temperatures cold enough that it will stick, the worst thing you can do is get snow early in the morning before the morning commute. That's the biggie, the timing of the 3 T's of snowfall. So timing will have a bigger impact than totals. Totals will always have an impact, but it's not necessarily as impactful as temperatures or timing. This one is a perfect example. We have not seen much snow. We are not going to see much snow. But what we are seeing is cold in place beforehand. It's cold right now, and we have another little push on the way. Here, check this out. Here's our storm moving in. That storm is diving in with cold air back behind it. So even as it moves through, we hang on to that cold air. First wave was out in front of it. Now we're going to see a wave as the storm itself moves over the top of us, and then we pull in some of that cold. Roads aren't looking great because of this. If I can get producer Will, if we have some of those traffic cams, if we could pull those up, that'd be there. You can see that is where we've seen road treatment. But notice even in between some of those lanes, you have a little bit of slushy nastiness. That is I-90 coming right through downtown Spokane. You can see some of those familiar exits. As soon as you get off the interstate, some of those side streets not looking near as clear. Once again, downtown not looking totally great. Here we go. You can see even those footprints not quite going all the way through. Road still covered in snow, and that snow, once again, not going anywhere. So let's dive into some of those actual impacts. We have winter weather advisories in effect in the mountains through tomorrow, I would say around noon. That's 11 a.m. 2 to 6 inches of snow is basically the summary of it. 4th of July pass, you're on the 2 to 3 inch side of it. Lookout Pass, you're on the 4 to 6. Some of those areas may see upwards of 7. That is going to be the mountains in Shoshone County. That's kind of the biggie there. For us, that last round of snow that moved through is now giving way to a few light scattered snow showers. Those light scattered snow showers back behind this are exactly what we expected to see. Here we go. That's the past hour. Actually, we can clean this up and go past 30 minutes and slow it down a little for you. Moving up to Sandpoint, seeing a little bit of that activity move in, but notice how those snow showers are kind of eroding themselves. Some of your heavy snow right now is going to be up in the mountains. Unfortunately, I don't know how to pull up the the Schweitzer cam. It's snowing pretty good at Schweitzer. You slide down a little bit farther to the south, you see some of that snow coming down around Coeur d'Alene. You see some of that snow coming down right at State Line. A little bit farther south, 95. Once you get all the way down near Plummer, still having snow come down, still dealing with that as well. I think by the time you get down into the Palouse, we're drying out quite nicely after this first round. But once again, actually this is a second round. Once again, we have yet another round in the works. If we zoom out, you don't really get a good radar smattering up in Canada, but you can get an idea of what is headed our way. What is likely headed our way is another round of snowfall. It's interesting. Tonight, it's these scattered snow showers. I think not much of a change for the next couple of hours from what we are seeing right now. It doesn't look to be much different. You know what? Let's go ahead and I'm going to change some of this right now. I think it's not necessarily worth it to get your cloud cover. So we're going to take cloud cover until, say noon tomorrow. Oh, take a look. All right. That looks like it is I-90 all the way out near the airport. So Geiger exit. So if you're familiar with the Geiger transfer station out there, definitely have some iciness on the road, some slick conditions, slow going. We have reports coming in from Cody Proctor, who was out in Moses Lake a little bit earlier today. I-90 is incredibly slick, traffic moving very slow. She's making her way back here to the station. So she said things are moving slow, kind of slippery out there. That is something that we are expecting to see. So for us, it's just one of those ones where, yeah, we know it's coming. Yeah, we know it's there. And yeah, it's already having some impact. So, all right, here we go. I cleaned up the map a little bit. Snow comes down. Most of it stays in the mountains this evening. Everything you see in white and those purples, that's all snowfall. By tomorrow morning, we get our next round. It starts early. It starts really early, 5 o'clock in the morning-ish. It starts coming down and it persists through about the morning commute. So it should start winding down in the 8 o'clock hour. Most of us are already out the door and moving by the 8 o'clock hour. I don't know why they're calling it 9 o'clock rush hour, but seriously, most of the morning commute winds up with a little bit of light snow. But with our temperatures all the way down near freezing, that little bit of light snow has a much bigger impact than it otherwise would. Throughout the day tomorrow, we have the Schweitzer cam. Let's go ahead and dive into that because remember we saw earlier, there we go. Gotta love Will working his heart out in the back. Will and Taylor back there. Thank you guys for making this all happen. Snow coming down, and it looks like they're making snow as well. I'm just gonna turn around and take a look. Yeah, so that bright light you see is on one of the snow making machines. But if you look anywhere else on there, you can see all of that snow coming down pretty good actually. So once again, on radar, we can even see some of that snow. Moving into Sandpoint a little bit, there it is at the base. Looks like they're already grooming. By the way, Schweitzer opens this Wednesday. That's kind of cool. Clock tower looking just like we want to see it this winter. I've been itching for it. I know you guys have probably been itching for it. This feels like a slow start to the season. But one thing I did tell producer Will loves skiing as well. He said one of the best ski seasons of my entire life. It's all the way back in 08, 09. And it didn't really get snowing until about December. And once it turned on, it never turned off. So I haven't given up faith just yet. But there's that snow coming down there at Schweitzer, likely going to continue to come down. So now that we've cleaned up radar, let's go ahead and dive in one more time for another round. Scattered showers continue, I think, through 11 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow morning, we get that next wave moving in. Notice this is at 5 o'clock in the morning. Persists through about the 8 o'clock hour. By 9, we're watching this wind down. That wind down around 9, let's rewind it right there, about 8:30, 9 o'clock. We'll watch that wind down and then move out. Clouds take over. By Wednesday, we're back under mostly cloudy skies. Our next wave of possible snow doesn't arrive until Thursday, and a lot is going to change on this one as it moves in. So let's talk totals through tomorrow morning. This is storm total. This is not on top of what we've already seen. This is through tomorrow morning. We're talking an inch to 2 inches. Most locations aren't seeing much. Seriously, unless you're in the southern panhandle of Idaho, most areas aren't getting much out of the snow. This is temperatures and timing impact more than it is a snow totals impact. This is kind of our first biggie. Believe it or not, we've already picked up 0.8 of an inch of snow. This half an inch we already recorded, plus the more snow that we have on the way, is putting us up and over that 1 inch mark season to date. But still, I think it is worth noting that it's just not a lot of snow. Do we have a Mount Spokane cam I'm hearing? Oh, there we go. It's coming down there on Mount Spokane. This is kind of fun. I think I'm going to go ahead and dive back into the radar because to me, this is the most fun that I think we're having. Look at it snow there on Mount Spokane. And believe it or not, Mount Spokane not really showing up a lot in terms of snow on the radar. So oftentimes what'll happen is that radar beam's just shooting right into the side of the mountain and not picking up what's going on top of the mountain. So it looks like it's coming down at every single mountain across the region. That's well worth it. All said and done, I seriously think the mountains are talking 3 to 6 inches of snow, depending which one you're choosing and depending on how high you go. Higher up, more snow, obviously. That's how it works. But the reason this has such a big impact is because tomorrow morning, our overnight lows are going to fall back into the 20s. Despite that snow moving through, we are waking up to lows down in the 20s, widespread across the region. We're talking the biggest impacts possible out of seemingly the littlest snow we will see possible. We did see a little bit of gusty wind out of this. That seems to be about the extent of it. But once again, I always hate when someone goes to recap, but we're going to do it right now. Here we go. More snow hits overnight. We have a very slick morning commute. And just so we're all on the same page, it does warm up and get rainy this weekend. Yeah, I know. Like really warm. Longer range forecast models put us on the much warmer side of things by next week, and it all starts this weekend. Tomorrow, we're under a weather impact alert with a high of just 34 degrees. I might even knock that 34 back down a little bit. I think we wind up much, much cooler thanks to all that snow on the ground. With more snow, you know what? I can actually do that live. It takes a while, so we might not get it by the time I'm done with this stream. But basically, it is going to be a little bit colder with the snow on the ground. Snow on the ground is a big deal. It reflects some of that sunlight so it doesn't warm us up as much. It also acts to cool us on the ground. Think of just throwing ice in the bottom of a cooler. It will keep the ground a lot colder. We have clouds over the top of us. It's going to cap us. Let's walk through the 7-day one more time. But there's that snow on the ground. 32 tomorrow. It's going to change here maybe by the time I get to the end of it. 35 on Wednesday, 34 on Thursday with a couple of scattered snow showers moving through. Snow turns to rain by Friday, and this weekend we're back up in the 40s, and by next week we could be talking temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 40s. It's a big turnaround as we get another warm injection of moisture. Hopefully that stays as snow up in the mountains, but for now, this is all we get, just a couple inches of snow. And it's having big impacts tomorrow morning. I guess that's all you need to know. We'll have more on the Night Report.